الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحابته ومن والاه. أما بعد. So then, in the former session, we've covered the first type of riba, which is the usury or the type of riba related to sales. And we pointed out that we have two types of riba, and since we covered the former or the first type of riba, and now we talk about the second type of riba, which is the usury of debts. And before we talk about the meaning of the usury of debts, first we need to know the meaning of debt. What is a debt? A lot of people, they associate debt with loans, while loans is just one type of debt. Debt defined as follows: كل ما ثبت في الذمة فهو دين. Anything that is established in your liability, anything that is established in your liability, yes. This is up to the technicians. They are asking to lower the volume a bit. They those are responsible. Okay. So then, so anything established in your liability is considered debt. But what is liability? What do you mean by liability? الذمة هي صفة يصح معها الإلزام والالتزام. What is liability? It's a description. It's a property possessed by a person by which Don't turn it down that much because I need them to raise my voice. Yes. Are we okay? Okay. So this is the deal. All right. So then, what is liability? Liability is just a description a person possesses by which he is able to bear responsibilities or to incur responsibilities and to be given rights. This is the meaning of liability. So liability is a description possessed by a person or entity, because we have liability of entities like institutions, like organizations. They have liability. That's why we have LLC. What is LLC? Limited Liability Company. But the company has the liability, not the individual. That's why the ulama, they say that the liability is related to the activity, not related to the actors. So there is a difference of liability. So what is liability? Liability is a description of property by which a person is given rights, he has rights, and he also incurs responsibilities. تصح معه الإلزام والالتزام. Okay? This is the meaning of liability. Therefore, once it is established in your liability, anything that is established in your liability to someone else, it means that it's a responsibility, it's automatically called debt. And these debts, when we say debts, either to be physical debt or to be monetary debt. Okay? That debt, it's either to be physical debt or to be monetary debt. In both cases, it is considered to be debt. So therefore, debt is broader than loans. Loan is just one type of debt. Only one type of debt. So we have loans, considered to be debts. For example, ثمن مبيع. If I buy something from you and I defer the payment, I pay you in delay, and then it is debt. It is considered to be debt. So delaying the payment when you exchange commodities. So I get the car and I will pay you back. Or like a salam. I will give you the amount, I will pay you now, and you're going to deliver the car in about 3 months, for example. This is called debt. In the former, it's the debt on my behalf. In the later, it's the debt on your behalf. Or, for example, ضمان متلف. If you damage something, let's say that you bent a car and you cause damage, then you're going to insure it, right? The moment that you are responsible for insuring the car, insuring the damage, this is debt. This is considered to be debt. You are in debt to the owner of the car. You're indebted to him. So he is a creditor to you in the broader sense, and you're a debtor. You're a debtor. For example, if a woman says that my dowry is going to be delayed, I don't want you to pay it now, it's going to be delayed. And then either to be delayed for a specific spot in time, specific time, or when we are separated. Either I do what we call khul, nullify the contract, or you divorce me, or both of us die, or one of us die. If we have separation, once we are separated, then the dowry is due. It's mature. What do we call this? Debt. This is debt. Okay? There are a lot of rulings related to that, like usury, like zakah. Is it going to prevent zakah or not? Is it zakatable or not? If a diya, is it going to be included or not? It's regarding inheritance. That is going to be inherited or not, because that must be paid before the delivery or distribution of the bequest, the inheritance. So it has multiple rulings, multiple implementations. So then anything established in your liability as a responsibility to someone else, monetarily or physically, it's going to be considered debt. What about rentals? It's going to be considered debt. So if you're going to pay by the end of the month, right, it's going to be debt. It's going to be debt. And if you pay for a month, if you pay in advance to rent the house for a month, now it's debt upon who? The lesser, not you, the lessee. It's that upon him. Now the debt is, now what type of debt does he owe to you? A service, the usufruct. So it's either to be monetary, and one of the monetary things is services. The usufruct of a thing is considered to be a debt. So then you understand now the actual meaning of debt. So loan is only one sort of debt, but it's not the only debt. Okay? Once you understand the meaning of debt, please pay attention, any stipulated, prefixed return on the debt is going to be considered RIBA, usually is. Do you understand? Any stipulated addition, increase, excess on that which is already established in your liability, which is the debt, it's going to be considered debt. RIBA, usually is. This is RIBA. Now let's go ahead and implement this. If the woman says, the wife says to the husband, if you don't pay me on time, when it's due, when the time is mature, the mature date, if the maturity date, when we are at that time and you don't pay me on that time, let's suppose that the dowry was $5,000. She says to him, you're going to pay me $5,200. What's the ruling of that? RIBA. Because it is stipulated. It is stipulated. Alright? But when it's time to pay her, he decided it was 5,000. So he, without any stipulation, he paid her 5,200. Is that allowed? Yes. Because it is not stipulated. In the scenario of damage in a car, so then you are liable as an insurer for the damage to pay the owner of the car or his agency to pay them. للمالك أو لنائبه. Right? If he says to you, if you don't pay me, let's say that you're going to pay the insurance, you're going to pay him back the insurance for the car in 1 week. If he says that, or the insurance company, it is stipulated on her that if you don't pay on time, it's going to have an increase of, for example, 1%. What do we say now? RIBA. If the lessor in a lease contract, like in the rent method, the lessor says to the lessee, if you don't pay on time, I will give you a time period of 5 days. After the 5 days, we have fees, and we call them delay fees. What's the ruling? Riba. Because it is stipulated addition to that which is already established in your liability. Okay? So then any addition, whereby it is stipulated as a prefixed return on that which is already established in the liability, we would consider it to be riba. Like in terms of loan, when a person lends a person, when we have loans, then if a person lends another person, this type of contract we call it aqd irfaq. It is actually in Islam encouraged. You are encouraged to lend people. There is hadith عند ابن ماجه وغيره, hadith Abdullah, hadith Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, that if you lend the person twice, it's as if you give him sadaqah. Some ulama say that, is it going to be a lending for the same person, or if you lend it twice, let's say that I lend Saleh, then I lend Muhammad, then it's going to be sadaqah. Some ulama say no, it's the same person. If you lend him twice, then it's going to be considered sadaqah. And the most correct opinion is that if you lend it twice, it's going to be considered sadaqah. Even if it's just a penny. If you lend, because of the generality of the statement of the Prophet ﷺ. If you lend a person $50 and then you lend another person $30, it's like you have donated. Even though that they will pay you back. Because this is the meaning of lending. When you lend a person, it means that you're gonna give him money or property, and then he will give you a replacement, and that replacement needs to be the same if it is mithli, if it has something the same, or to be the value. So for example, if I lend you this table, what does that mean? You're going to return to me the same table? La. Then it's another contract. It has different rulings. This is called borrowing, ariyah. If I give you the table, for example, and you're going to return the same table, this table, what do we call this? Borrowing. This is ariyah. You have different rulings. In the sense that you won't insure it, according to the majority of ulama, if it's a borrowing, you won't insure it until you either transgress or you neglect. Okay? But if it's a loan, you're going to return it back no matter what. So then the understanding of the type of contract will have different implications, different consequences. Okay? So then the difference between lending, which is a loan, and borrowing is that if I give you something and you're going to give me back a replacement of it, We call this what? Loaning. Loaning. But if I give you a thing and you're going to return it the same, that thing, we call it ari. It's called ari. That's why when you borrow something, you must return the same thing. Table. Car, and so on and so forth. طيب. Now, also you need to differentiate. Now, in terms of borrowing, who is the one benefiting? Now, if I take the table as a borrowing, who is the one benefiting? The borrower or the giver? The borrower, right? But if I give you the table for my benefit, not for your benefit, what do we call this? Wadi'a, depositing. I deposit it. I trust you with it. I would like you to take care of it. Okay? So then now we have three things. Loaning, qard, ariyah, wadi'a. So loaning. I am giving all these uqood, all these types of uqood, what do you call them? Uqood irfa. They are intended to facilitate life, to make life easy. That's why there is no whatever stipulated return, prefixed return on them. Because this is intrinsically contradicts the meaning of that contract. That contract is not investment. You're not investing, you're not anticipating return. The return from Allah Azza wa Jal, reward, but you're not anticipating monetary return. Okay? So therefore, if you are having a contract of loaning, if I give you this table, what I'm expecting? A replacement of it. Then I'm expecting to return the same as this table, not this table. Okay? If something does not have something the same, then you're going to replace what? Its value. You're going to return back the value of it. سمى القيمي ليس مثليا. And look, if you say, what is something that it has something the same? What is al-mithli? We say that al-mithli fi shara', according to the most correct opinion, has either one of these. Makil, mawzoon, okay? Makil or mawzoon. Or makil but not mawzoon. Or mawzoon but not wakil, or both. In simple terms, to be makil or موزون or both. What is مكين يعني what is مكيل يعني weight. Okay? What is موزون يعني scale. So if a thing has it's scalable and weighable, يعني it's not measured, it's not look, if you want to buy apple, generally, how would you like it? By counting, right? You don't scale it. You might count it, then you go to scale, but you buy it by counting. Yani every individual apple, not a box of apple. If you say box of apple, then you're going to weigh the box of apple. But apple, you exchange it, you buy it or you exchange it usually for what? بالعد. By counting. Okay? There are things that they are not exchanged by counting, but by ذرة. Like, يعني, how is ذرة this in English? يعني, they're not measured. Because you can weighing is measurable in English, because I don't want them to understand something different. Like now, if I want to buy a land, is it weighable? Scalable? Is it counted? Yeah, and so on and so forth. This length and width and stuff, this is what we call dara in the Arabic language. Okay? هذه مدروعة. Alright? So a thing is the same. When the jurists say that something is the same, they're talking about It's measurable in the sense that it's weighable, scalable. هذا المثلي ما يسمى بالمثلي. ولهذا we have a definition for it عند الفقهاء يقولون المثلي هو كل مكيل موزون يصح فيه السلم. It is weighable, scalable, whereby it is allowable to do a transaction for it in a forward sale. This is what they call a type of, this is what they call mithli. Mithli, something is the same. So therefore, I'm asking you, sister, if you borrow, if I lend you a car, what am I expecting you in a contract of loan to return?
To pay you back.
Yeah, what?
Money.
Money? It's a sale.
But if you lend me something, I'm owing you. So
If I lend you my car, look, I lend you, you come to me, you beg me, I need a car. I said, okay, you take it and you're gonna pay me back. You're gonna pay me back in a month. What I'm expecting you to pay me back, to pay me back. Please, she has a tongue in it. She is an independent woman. Okay?
basically you're expecting me to pay you back by money.
And basically,
If I cannot pay you by money, then I have to return the car to you.
if you return the car back to me, what do we call this? This is borrowing. This is borrowing. I didn't give you a loan. It's not a loan. Okay? Now it's borrowing. So can I give you me money back, for example? Yes, it's not a loan. Okay? So therefore, we have a contract of lending. It's a loan. So then you're gonna pay me the same car. So for example, I lended you a Honda Civic 2016, the model, with these type of tires and so on and so forth. Then you're gonna return to me the same. Once we have a disagreement, then we're gonna go to the court of law and they will decide. They will be able to decide if it is the same or not. طيب, once we determine in the court of law that it's not going to be measured to be the same, then what's the solution? She's going to pay me back the value. She won't give me back the car that I gave her, because the contract is a loan. It's not ariyah. So then we're going to go to the value. Now I'm asking you, is the value going to be determined the time I lent her the car, or the time of al-i'waz, yani the time when she didn't find it the same to pay me back? If you don't mind. Yeah, you, if you don't mind.
Okay. So the time, ask again, sorry.
So I lent her the car today, which is October the 25th. And the value of the car is 50,000. It was due in a month, which is 25th of November. So we say that, do you have something? She said, we don't find something the same. Then now she needs to pay me the value of it. The value at that time, it's going to be 65,000. So is she going to pay me 50,000 or 65,000?
The time that you lent her, the value was.
But it was due when? It was due the time I lent her, or the time she needs to maybe on the 25th of November. Then when it was due.
I think the time that she has to give it back.
Which is 65,000 now.
Yeah.
But it was established in her liability on the 25th.
Whatever was on the contract. If it was on the contract then.
The contract. No, there was no contract.
Oh,
The contract is lending. It means that she's going to return to me the same or the value.
so the value of money.
If it is conditional, khalas, we have decided, and this is one of what we call, if you have a good lawyer, if he knows how to write contracts, he will stipulate that. But if it's not stipulated,
At the time of the contract itself.
so she's going to pay me 50,000.
Yes.
Why?
Because
That's the value.
Please.
you stipulated a change that happened after the contract. So that is the definition.
When it was established in her liability,
Yes.
it was established in her liability on the 25th of this month or the following month,
This month.
which is the 60,000.
No, like the change that happened to the liability being the $60,000 happened in the next month. So this is not allowed.
What he's saying, because when it was established in her liability, 60,000. If you try to charge her the 65,000, that's in addition to what was,
Yeah, but when was it due?
due to the next one.
Yeah, and it was not the value in of itself, right? So the ulama رحمه الله differed. بعضهم قال في وقت العقد ومنهم من قال في وقت العقد. Some ulama say that it's going to be the time where we have the contract, because this is the time where the liability was busy, established. Some ulama say that it is actually the time where she was not able to pay the same, because it was during that time she's required the value. Okay? And the most correct opinion is that she's going to pay when the time of the contract, which is going to be 50,000. Something similar. If someone borrows from you a car, he takes from you, he borrows money. He borrows the meaning of loan. Okay, he takes money, you lend him money, cash. Then as a consequence of inflation, the prices has increased. So the value, let's say that you lend him $5,000. As a consequence of inflation, the value of the dollar, the rate of it, during the time of paying back, has devalued. So 5,000 during the time where it is due, it's actually 4,500. Okay? Is he going to pay you 4,500 or 5,000? 5,000. Okay? So then, what would ensue as a consequence of what we're talking about? Anything that is established in that liability is considered not the time when it is due, the time when the contract occurs, the happening of the contract. This is how you measure any return. Okay? So now we have these three issues. What are they? Loaning, borrowing, and trusting, or وديعة, depositing. If you have borrowing, which is عارية, now the one who is the beneficiary? The one who is taking it. ولهذا يقول العلماء أخذها لمصلحة نفسه. He's taking it for his interest. What would ensue? That his liability to return it, the same, exactly the same. طيب, can the borrower give a gift to the borrowed from? No. He can give. But in case of loaning, no. كل قرض جر نفعا فهو ربا. So then one of the differences between borrowing and depositing is that in loans, no benefit whatsoever going to be given the lender. He won't incur anything other than his loan, the amount due, that's it. So he cannot give him a gift, for example. Or if he says to him, look, I will give you I will lend you money on the condition that you're gonna, construct a wall in my house. You're gonna fix the faucets. هذا لا يجوز. So then, the nature of the contract is what? Facilitatory. It's intended to facilitate. عقد إرفاق, to make life easy, to help. So then, you cannot say that I help and at the same time, you take return. هذا ينافي العقد. Alright? So this is the meaning of loaning and borrowing. Also, one of the issues that we need also to touch on is, now, when the amount is due, then the one who is borrowing, or the debtor in general, the debtor has two possibilities. Either that he is insolvent, or actually we have three possibilities. The first possibility is that he is solvent. It means that he has the capacity to pay his debt. The second possibility is that he is insolvent, in the sense that his expenses are higher than his income. So he has money, but he has more expenses than that which comes. The third possibility is that he is destitute. Destitute, he's poor. He's poor. He is on the edge. He's just on the edge. Okay? If he is rich, when the time due, when it's the maturity date, then it is a must upon him to pay back. Delaying it 1 minute, it's a sin. And he is considered to be a wrongdoer, ظالم. Okay? He's committing a sin, because you're holding the property or the wealth of someone else without his permission. So then, if a person is solvent, then he must pay the debt back. The damage, dowry, loan, whatever. Anything that is established in the liability. If he is insolvent, now what do we say? If he is insolvent, then we have two scenarios. The first scenario is that he has the lenders, they found, the creditors in general, let's call them the creditors. So a creditor will find his money in its actual shape. مثلا he lent him $500, or he lent him a car, or the dowry is a necklace. So he would find the money, his money, we will find in his will the money itself, his money. The money of who? We will find in the possession of the debtor the money of the creditor. Then what we're going to do? We're going to take that actual money and give it back to the creditor. من وجد ماله بعينه عند رجل قد أفلس فهو حق به ثم هو أسوة الغرباء. The Prophet ﷺ says that if a creditor finds his money in its actual shape, in its actual shape, then he is more deserving to take it than any other creditor. ثم هو أسوة الغرباء, then he is the same as any other creditor. في الصحيحين هذا الحديث عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه. Okay? The second possibility, or the second scenario, is that because he does not have the capacity to pay back, what we're going to do? Now he's going to be that his basic needs are going to be given to him, like food, house, the essentials. They're going to be kept for him. and then whatever remaining, it's going to be what? Liquidized. It's going to be liquidized. Liquidated. Okay? It's going to be liquidated. Yeah, and we're going to make it cash. And then we're going to give the creditors or the creditor all each or up to his share. يعني by percentage. So if we have 5 creditors, then whatever remaining after keeping the basics, we're going to liquidate the properties or his wealth, and we're going to give him, and then they're going to be given percentage. So let's say that one creditor has 20% of the total debt, and the other one has 30%, and the other one has 60%, and the other one has 20%, and the other one has 20%, then each will get according to his share. So he might not take it all because it's up to the remaining wealth, but he will take in ratio of the total amount. Is that clear? طيب. If he has income and he has money, I think you know the difference, right? If he has income and he has salary and he has wealth, يعني what he owns and then he has income, like salary مثلا, or like return on investments. Okay, هذا يسمى عند العلماء بالكسب. Return, either to be in the form of a salary or razq, we call it razq, or for example, return on an investment, whatever that type of investment, shares, businesses, whatever, but he has a return. This is called kasb. So we have his money, his wealth, and we have his income. Okay? What we're going to do, we're going to begin with the income. Are we going to take from his income, or we're going to take from his wealth? From the wealth. Whatever is not remaining, then we're going to wait until he owns it. Until he owns it, not in that which is supposed to be, but until he owns it. And once he owns it, it's going to be considered part of his wealth, and then it's going to be given to the creditors. Okay? This is as opposed to the American law. The American law, they will immediately, if you don't have, you're going to be jailed. Okay? When are you going to be bailed out? When are you going to be bailed out? If you have only a return on the investment with a certain percentage, and only less than 1% of the population in the United States can reach that threshold. That's why they're going to be jailed. But if you have a big, if you are wealthy, you just don't care, because who is going to actually bail you out? Who? The government. The government will turn to be a socialistic country immediately. You are capitalistic, except when it comes to the billionaires. We're going to bail them out. We're going to take care of them. Why is that? The argument goes as follows. These big companies, they are employing a lot of people, right? It's not about 100 employees or 200 or even 5,000. They employ by the hundreds of thousands, right? If you let them go bankrupt, what's going to happen? Who's going to pay for those employees? The taxpayer, right? Which is the government. So what do? Bail out these companies so that they will employ those people, and the employees will going to pay us taxes. This is how it goes. So you have an argument of both sides. Some say that it's actually advantageous to the employer, to the wealthy. Some say it's actually good for the government and for the employees, in order to keep people working, right? And if you'd like to understand that, you can go to the Bankruptcy Acts. They have a lot of elaborations. The thing is that here the debt is going to be liquidated, or the wealth is going to be liquidated, the assets if you'd like to speak more in financial terms, the assets are going to be liquidated, and then the income, salary, return on investment, whatever, it's going to be considered what? It's not going to be an insurance against the wealth. And even if he has income, he is still considered to be out of his wealth until it is considered to be an asset. Because an income is not going to be considered an asset. That's why it does not have the capacity to be liquidated. For it to be liquidated, it needs to be transformed into asset. ولهذا anything that is asset, then it's liquidatable in Islam, في الشرع. So debt is not going to be liquidated, or thing that has the capacity to be liquidated, it's not going to be liquidated because it has the capacity to be liquidated. Okay? So therefore, if he is then insolvent, this is how we're going to deal with him. Right? If the creditors ask a person who is solvent, if they ask to pay them back and he refused, what we're going to do? We're going to go to the creditors. If they ask us to imprison him, we're going to do so. Until he pays back the creditors, they do right. Okay? He's going to be jailed. Pay the money back. Because he said, لَيُّ الْوَاجِدِ يُحِلُّ عِرْضَهُ وَعُقُوبَتَهُ. يحل عرضه يعني to complain against him. وعقوبته يقول وكيل يعني حبسه. He's going to be in prison, jailed. Then we have another type of a debtor. That debtor is a debtor who is what? Destitute, poor. It's their responsibility. It is mandatory upon the creditor to what? Give him time. To delay, to defer. قال الله تعالى وإن كان ذو عسرة فنظرة إلى ميسرة. So therefore, if you're destitute, you just don't have money. It's not about that you have more expenses than your responsibilities, or more than what you can keep. It's just you don't have money. Then it's not allowed to ask even a penny from you because you don't have it. Okay? Therefore, even if the creditor asks that destitute, that poor to be imprisoned, he won't be imprisoned. So then he must give him time. He must. And then that person is going to be asked to go and try, without making it hard on him or her, to have income so that he can pay his debt. Okay? طيب. Let's say that a person has amount, if we have a debtor, and its maturity date is to be in a year. Can that debtor travel, live luxuriously before the due date? Can he do it? Why? It's not yet due. But it's not due. He can? We say that he can, but it is not wise. But in terms of the allowability, the legality of it, yes, he can do it. But if it's due, he can't. ولهذا الفقهاء, the jurists, they say that he can't travel, يعني back then, he can't travel until he takes the permission of who? The creditor. So therefore, if the maturity date, if the amount is not yet due, in terms of the allowability, it is allowed. You can travel if the debt is not yet due. But it's not advisable. But if it's due, it is not allowed until you pay back. It is the money of others. It's not your money. You need to get it back. You need to pay it back. Okay? Any type of debt, loan, like what I said, insured, damage, and whatever, dowry, rent, whatever, you've got to pay it back. You can't just, when it's time, then you go to pay whatever. When it's time to pay. That's why now a lot of people, they just don't lend each other. Why is that? Because no trust. They know that if I lend you my money, it's gone. One of my relatives, a person came to him and he want to borrow. He want to take money. He want him to lend him. He said, I think he asked him 12,000 Saudi riyals. He said, I opened the drawer. I said, look, the amount is in the drawer, but I won't give you. He said, why? He said, now you're going to go being upset, right? But my money is where? With me. But if I give you the 12,000, who is going to be upset? Me, and my money is with who? With you. So I will be chasing you, ask him my money. Now, my money is with me. Whether you're upset or not, I don't care. Right? Right? Now people, they don't lend each other because people don't pay back, unfortunately. ولذلك we give you a qaida for those who have good intention. If you lend someone else, consider it gone unless otherwise. Okay, have the default. You live comfortably. But if you lend people and then you say, why they don't pay me back? It's actually now, you're not wise. If you lend, just consider. I'm not saying you forgive it. But you can say, it's gone. So that you're going to be living comfortably. Because otherwise, forget it. Forget it. Make him call. He will call you. Say that I have $5,000. You lend me 5,000. I will pay you back. Where is that person? It's very rare. Now,
if that's the case, like you consider it from your money that you have to pay zakat on or not.
If you
initially give it away.
As long as you still consider him liable to you, it's still dead. If we say that you're going to pay zakat on it, the most correct opinion is that you're going to pay zakat the time you receive it, lima mada, for that which is in the past. Okay? ولهذا الزكاة تدفع على الصحيح في الدين لما مضى عند القبض لما مضى. Okay? Now we need to pray, you say? خلاص, we're going to come back then for wrap up and we have a Q&A.
Next week, inshallah, we have an important new program starting. The announcements will be coming in soon. I'll be sending the group chats. It's going to be a 2-year IUN program that Shaykh Ḥamad and Shaykh Ḥamad are going to be teaching. There's going to be English section and there's going to be Arabic section. The English will be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and the Arabic will be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So inshallah, whatever you feel comfortable or whatever you're interested, if you're interested in both, you come. They will have both of them have different events, different books at the top. So almost officially will be coming out this week, inshallah. Look forward to it. Most of you are already in the group chats for the programs. So classes, orientation, and more information about it will be next Saturday or Sunday, one of them. I'll send it out. All the shuyukh will be here and they will be giving talks and talking about the program. So be on the lookout for that, inshallah. Also, next on the 31st of the month on a Friday, we'll have another session with Shaykh Ḥamad. It's going to be at Zawadi with the second Shaykh Ḥamad. It's on Islamic finances. So anybody who's interested how to Muslims way of earning money in halal ways and what are the loopholes to watch out for and things like that, especially in our American audience. So inshallah, look forward to that. I'll be also sending out a flyer recognition for that, inshallah.
We have some questions about
After Isha.
after Isha.
No, inshallah. Yes.
What time on the 25th?
I'll send out the flyer in the I will have more information.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله.